Where Winds Meet is an ambitious free-to-play open-world action RPG from the Everstone Studio and NetEase that launched on PC and PlayStation 5 this time around, November the 14th, 2025. It aims to blend precise parry-led melee combat with a large vertical world full of side systems, crafting, fishing, NPC dramas, and social spaces. The game reached massive numbers at launch, with millions of players in its open days and a Steam concurrent peak nearing 200,000, which explains why you're seeing it everywhere right now. Play the game for a few hours and two things stand out straight away: the combat and the world. Combat is built around the timed parries, counters, posture management, and weapon variety. It often feels Sekiro-ish, at least in an idea. But it's not just a clone. Parry windows are different for each enemy, and some players find the timing unpredictable. That creates a higher skill ceiling, but also occasional frustration when an attack that looked parryable suddenly doesn't register. Despite the quirks, successful fights are visceral. Heavy hits have weight, dodges and counters flow well when you get into the rhythm, and boss fights deliver cinematic moments that are genuinely rewarding when you win. If you want technical, timing-based melee that punishes sloppy inputs and rewards learning movesets, this hits the mark. But prepare to practice. Where Winds Meet gives you a good set of tools: special weapon types with distinct feel, skill trees, medicine, and crafting systems. And traversal mechanics like rope dart movement just make a vertical exploration fun. The world design is one of the game's strongest selling points. Environments are wide, often spectacular, and the level of productions in animations and cinematics is quite high. The game looks and moves like something that took a lot of polish. That visual and choreographical quality is why a lot of people felt surprised that this is a free-to-play game. That said, the game is not without problems. It stacks many systems on top of one another, multiple currencies, upgrade menus, overlapping progression trees, and live service hooks. That complexity gives depth for players who like to, mini to maximum, but makes onboarding rough for. The UI can feel cluttered at first. Map markers, tutorial pop-ups, and notification overlaps crowd the screen and steal the sense of discovery until you turn some of them off. Balance systems are still being tuned. Post-launch comments and threads show the developers pushing hotfixes and are listening, but expect a few rough edges in the first few weeks. Monetization is a practical reality here. The model is free to play, with a pay to look good emphasis. Kind of cosmetic skins and convenience items dominate the storefront rather than straight power buying. And at least it's just the form of advertising at launch. That doesn't mean that the economy won't shape long-term choices. How much the live service currencies sink into the progression or endgame convenience will determine whether the game stays friendly to non-spenders. Watch what's behind major progression gates and read patch notes. A purely cosmetic model now could shift later if the live economy changes. And also, the inclusion of AI-powered chat NPCs is one of the game's most controversial features. Now, if you care about the consistent NPC writing and grounded world building, this is a point to be aware of. Community reactions have been loud and varied. On one hand, the game blew up quickly and spawned memes. The maniacal goose incident is a perfect example of unexpected, kind of an emergent moment turning into the community joke and genuine difficulty spikes that players are still talking about. On the other hand, players have also kind of flagged AI chat quirks and combat inconsistencies. The active players count and Steam ratings are both strong right now, so you'll find lots of guides and content quickly. That helps flatten the learning curve. Performance and platform notes I wanted to touch on. Now, the system requirements are non-trivial, and the game recommends an SSD and perhaps a mid to high-end CPU and GPU for a smoother experience on PC. Now, some users saw frame rate problems and bugs at launch, just that the developers are still shipping out hotfixes and patches quite quickly. Now, of course, if you're playing this on PlayStation 5, and mind you, I was playing this on my PlayStation 5 Pro, my goodness, the game had awful frame rate issues. Now, the game still is fantastic, and it is indeed playable. But do note that if you want to play this game on a lower end PC, now you might have to do some adjustments and tweaks towards your graphics settings, so you have to pay attention to these things. So who will enjoy Where Winds Meet? Now, if you like hands-on melee system that rewards timing and learning, large worlds with perhaps like vertical traversal, and if you don't mind living in a game that has live service elements, this is worth your time. And if you hate APOG progression systems, menu bloat, or you suspect free-to-play will slowly erode the game's balance, of course, in this case, go in with caution. So start with one weapon and stick to it long enough to understand its timing. Turn down UI clutter in the settings, don't dump currency into things you don't understand until you know where late game progression actually costs real money. And follow community posts for hotfixes, notes, and early meta builds. Where Winds Meet is an impressive and often enjoyable take on a wuxia open world action. It combines high production values, meaningful melee, and a deep set of systems that creates memorable moments. It can feel messy at times, and live service design's choices mean its long-term shape will depend on developer decisions and community pressure. But still, even though the issues present in this game, for example, English voice acting, well, inconsistencies in that, it is a problem obviously. Try to play this perhaps in Chinese instead. But still, right now, it's one of the most talked about releases in the genre, and solid play for fans of precise combat and exploration. Just keep an eye on how the economy and the progression system evolve afterwards. And at that, do let me know down in the comments as well, what did you think about Where Winds Meet? Did you enjoy it? Have you tried it? I mean, it's free, why not? Give it a shot and check it out. At that, thank you so much for watching, like and subscribe. I'll see you guys all, and have a wonderful day.